what are you saying about this major stories? Bukola joins me to walk through your comments right now. Bukola, what do
I like you, Cardi. Hello again, by the way. I've been looking at some of these reactions, and they're a product of deep thinking, and it just speaks to that saying that you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you certainly can't fool all of the people all of the time. And for those who choose to be fooled, they're probably being rewarded on the other side. So we'll start with, of course, the big talking point, and you see some of what I'm saying, and it's on federal government and Labour's agreement on 70,000 naira new minimum wage. And the first one is from Mind Talks, who says, now that is reasonable. Salary increase coming up, inflation also coming to remove every joy from the Nigerian worker. So they know the realities. Coyote.
Well, Mind Talks. Why are you pooping the party already? But I mean, these are issues we'll have to deal with.
Indeed.
But they say we'll cross the bridge when we get there. Kenuti says this is better than 30,000 naira, but not enough considering the realities of the day. This will translate to more money in circulation, and this user thinks possibly another round of uptick in inflation. Brace up, this user says.
Indeed, and this next one is from Aki Somi, who says, well, 133% increase on minimum wage is a massive jump. Also, agreeing to the 3-year review cycle instead of 5 years is a very good one. God bless everyone for the resolution, and hope and pray for a better Nigeria. That's a positive one.
I guess this next user does a breakdown, goes back in time, I shall say. Carter Mills, that's the handle, says, good luck, Abila Jonathan, paid 18,000 naira. Fuel, 87 naira. Rice, 7,000 naira per bag, I imagine. Dollar, 150 to 180 naira to the dollar. Then moved on to Buhari's administration, paid 30,000 naira. Fuel, 145. Rice, 45 to 55,000. Dollar, 460 to 700 naira to $1. Now, this comes to the current administration. 70,000 naira, that's the agreement. Petrol is between 600 to 700, well, depending on where you're buying it. Sometimes it's more, by the way. Rice, 80 to 90 to 100,000. Dollar, 15 to 17. So basically, this user is doing a breakdown. No
and
comments,
I love
just a
this.
breakdown.
I love this.
Yeah.
So, let's just stay here for a bit, Kadi. For these 3 administrations, these 3 breakdowns, under which would the masses be breathing?
Let us know. Under which of them. But that's the breakdown. Brilliant one from Carter Mills.
Yeah, indeed. And this next one is from Mr. Dipo, who says, a 50 kg bag of local rice is currently selling for 80k. I bought 85k just about early last week or so.
Local rice.
The local rice. A family of 5 will likely consume 25 kg monthly. Transport fare is over the roof. So these are issues, big issues that the administration should be considering. And some will be asking, where are those CNG buses, by the way? The second round of monies have been disbursed for CNG buses, but the first round has not brought in those CNG buses.
So I think it's just clear that they need to target food, transport. Those are the things that gulp a lot of money from Nigerians. This next user, it's just us, that's Bliss_up, says, yes, that's credible enough. After many struggles, they later shift ground on that. So this user focuses on state government. They should welcome the new minimum wage, but thinks that the struggle will continue because food inflation is still not controlled. So obviously, let's pay attention to food, but states as well. What are states going to say? First, they had local government judgment to contend with. Now the new minimum wage. Quite a lot on the table of states, Bukola.
Quite a lot, and we'll be delving into that much later on. Well, still on the situation of the economy, and this time around, the response is from the legislative arm of government. Reps slash salaries by 50% over nationwide hunger. Now, how those monies will be disbursed over the next 6 months is what we really do not know. And how much will it really amount to? 50% of their salaries times 360 lawmakers representing all the constituencies of the federation.
Let me just do a quick crunch. So 300,000. It says they earn 600,000-ish. So 300,000 times 360. So that's about 108 million.
Over a period of 6 months.
Times 6.
Yeah.
That's 648 million.
So what intervention would that
let us know.
serve? But Nigerians are grateful, and indeed, this is a very selfless act by the House of Representatives. This next reaction, or the first rather, is from Lucky Man, who says it's not about slashing salaries. They should earn based on the minimum wage structure. That's the best way to go. Anything else aside that, well, you conclude it.
So lawmakers earn 70,000 naira. Is that your proposal? Well, let's see how that plays out. I think we're getting there gradually. That Mr. Krim says, slash allowances, slash the next year budget of NAS by 60% or more, then we'll believe that they're ready for change.
But whether they slash allowances or not, definitely government also needs to consider cutting the cost of governance, much more than the implementation of the Oronsai report, which has been frowned at as not really, addressing real issues. And the next one is from Gabriel Isaiah, who says they should rather, well, he starts by saying stories. That's skepticism, I believe. They should rather forfeit their allowances and take salaries if they mean business. Civil servants get salaries. Politicians should be taking only salaries. Some of their allowances are 300% of their annual salary. So Nigerians are agreed on the fact that the allowances is where the spice is.
We've had former speakers say, well, it's over 20 million and the rest. So that is where Nigerians are paying attention to right now. So it looks like there's a consistency in the reaction from Nigerians on this one. So let's move on to another matter that has just gotten a lot of people talking yet again. And it's this... well, there was a meeting, a major meeting for policymakers within the tertiary education sector. It was chaired by the Minister of Education, and it was there that I said, let's peg the entry age for tertiary institutions at 18. But then there was a back and forth debate, and I said, it's not possible because people who wrote JAMB, some of them are 16 years already anyway. So there was a shifting of ground to 16 as admission age for 2024. So this first user, Roland Ishiro, says it shouldn't be just for 2024 at a time when employers are looking for fresh graduates between the ages of 21 and 23 for employment. One man is saying that they should wait till they are 18 before they could be admitted. What happened to the 16 years policy that has been applicable over the years? So this is being, factual, being realistic, because that's what you find out. So if you enter at 18, you're most likely going to graduate 22 if there are no strikes. So that's plus X, right?
Well, it reminds me of our conversation on the mass failure of WAEC and JAMB, I believe. I think it was WAEC. And some of the issues raised was the lack of immaturity mentally and physically of some students who are admitted into universities. And at the level where they are in their final year, they're not particularly ready for the challenge, the mental challenge of examinations, and that may be a factor that is also responsible for failure. But it's something to reflect on, that all stakeholders, all wards should reflect on as they nurture the young ones. So this next reaction is from Operation Unify AZ, who says 16 years is too high. What happens to geniuses? There should be no age barrier to university admission. Capacity is what matters.
There you go. It's yet again a consistent reaction. Olamide Osimoso also says it's understandable due to how less secured our institutions are for minors, but it still does not make sense that you be 22 before you can bag a degree. Don't forget you still have to serve, by the way, so that's extra 1 year. So you're most likely 23 and you're just reaching the end of that range for employment. But hey, it's not like that everywhere. So that's what you're saying. There was also the decision on the cutoff mark by JAMB, putting at 140 for universities, 100 for polytechnics and educations and colleges of education, right? So that's also elicited a lot of reactions from Nigeria.
And this first one is from Hamid Abubakar, who says, we used to get 200 in JAMB, but we're still not able to get admission. Wrote it 5 times, and all above the then cutoff mark was 180. I weep for this generation. Now, isn't 140 an invitation to failure? But
Well, I think obviously we need to retool our education sector, but let's know what you think. It's a big debate.